After the word from Us Kids segment ends, the next episode begins. Written by Joe Fallon and storyboarded by Stephanie Sheenack. Directed by Greg Bailey and everyone else who is responsible for creating this episode. Let's get started. Starts out with Arthur walking on stage among a murmuring audience as Arthur claims this is the funniest joke he had ever heard. But he keeps messing up. He talks to himself as he finally figures out how the joke goes and laughs. He mentions that he almost wrecked it by saying the punchline, as he says the punchline. The title card of Pal and Arthur swimming with the fishes appears and then disappears, with the episode about to start. Arthur minds his own business, sharpening a pencil until he finds crayon wax. He calls for Mom, already knowing who the culprit is because it has happened before. Mom doesn't answer back. Instead, it's DW claiming that she's not guilty of the crime. Arthur points out a flaw in DW's claim of innocence. DW blames it on Pal, who appeared there magically without any sound or paw steps. Arthur points out that he doesn't have thumbs. He's got you there. DW still doesn't admit to her guiltiness and runs off. Arthur sits down at his desk and uses a pen on a piece of paper that magically appeared there out of nowhere to write a letter to Buster as he narrates aloud. He asks Buster what it's like traveling to foreign countries with his dad, and says he wishes that DW would go to a foreign country.
I heard that!
Arthur begins to narrate the rest of the letter that he's writing in his head. He mentions that everyone is trying to raise money for the library. Mrs. McGrady is having a bake sale to raise money for new books. And Binky helped a lot buying a lot. Mr. Crosswire is having a raffle to win a new car with an MC² license plate. I bet Brain would want that car when he gets older. And Muffy decides to have a carnival in her backyard. After Muffy teleports from the middle of her yard to standing in front of her friends, she says that she needs a main show and asks them what the best thing they could do to raise a lot of money. Brain suggests to have a particle accelerator similar to the one created by Simon van der Meer. In Brain's imagination, David Reed hands Muffy 2 tickets for him and DW. They both get into the ride and then get shrunk by a shrinking machine. A random vendor guy picks them up. Oh wait. I always thought this was a random vendor guy, but as I'm writing the script for this review, I realized it's Brain the whole time. After David and DW scream like ants through the purple world of science, Francine tears down the 4th wall made out of wallpaper.
Is that even possible?
I don't know, I just witnessed you do it. Did you forget you did it or something?
She didn't say it had to be possible.
That's true. I didn't say that.
She said the best thing.
I didn't say that. But wait, they're talking about something else. Arthur thought that Brain's idea was cool, then Muffy comes up with something else.
We build a gigantic shopping plaza full of clothes. Ugh. Shopping is boring.
You've said it. Muffy doesn't want to pay for a pasteurizing agitator, and Brain corrects her. Arthur wishes Buster could be here, and says that he would have suggested to tell jokes or be clowns. Everyone loves the idea. Muffy thanks him for the idea, but most of the credit should be given to Buster. The voice of Arthur narrating from the present day starts speaking again, telling Buster that everyone agreed to be clowns and do any kind of funny thing they could do. Arthur mentions that he told the joke that he remembered Buster had told him once about a shoe store. They get the joke, but none of them laugh. Arthur is discouraged about this. As they walk off, Muffy tells Francine that he isn't funny and that he's going to ruin her whole carnival. Francine tells her that she will go talk to him. And back in class where Arthur is thinking over the joke he had told and why no one laughed, Francine suggests that he could do another job at the carnival. But Arthur tells her that he can be funny, and is sure of it. He tells her that he made Buster laugh all the time. He thinks back to the time he made Buster and himself laugh at the treehouse, and another time while camping in a tent that's purple instead of orange. Francine said that he might have been laughing to be polite. He proves her wrong, mentioning that one time while laughing and drinking a strawberry milkshake, he sprayed it out of his nose. In the memory, it landed on Arthur's glasses as he smiles about it. Back to the present day, or at least in this specific present day, Arthur points out that you don't do that to be polite. Francine looks over at Muffy, who glares at her. She tried, though. Later on, Arthur asks his mom if he's funny.
Well, there's nothing funny about how you haven't practiced the piano all week.
Not the answer he was looking for, but he does need to get that done. From the other present day, Arthur narrates the letter, saying that if you want answers from Mom, practice first and then ask questions later. As Arthur plays the piano, DW plays a pretend game of checkers with Kate. Kate gets bored with this game since she's not part of the game. Arthur gets bored of his piano practice and starts making Kate laugh. DW points out to Arthur that Kate thinks he's funny, and she herself agrees as well, saying that his face is hilarious.
Har, har, har.
You're just jealous because I'm funnier than you.
That is true. She is. Instead of going back to his mom to get a proper answer for his question, he goes to his dad telling him his problem about not being funny. Dad gives him the advice to tell a really funny joke, like the shoe store joke. Arthur explains that he already told that joke. Arthur's dad is in disbelief about this, saying that joke is really funny.
Unless I tell it. Great, I'm a joke killer.
Muffy tells everyone they can be clowns except for Arthur. Francine says this whole thing was Arthur's idea and it would hurt his feelings if he can't be part of it. Muffy tells them that they have to make him a good clown. From the other present day of writing the letter, Arthur tells Buster all the things that happened. Failing to learn how to juggle from Swillen, failing to understand jokes Brain told.
Don't you get it? Helium is a noble gas. Oh. What?
I sort of get it, but I forget what a noble gas is. And I didn't hear the first part of the joke, and the punchline. He also fails at making faces like Binky, so in the end, Muffy hired Pickles the Clown to teach him professional clowning. But Pickles had to leave early because he's allergic to dogs, but before he left, he gave Arthur some advice.
Kid, forget about ever having huge feet and a big round nose.
He's leaving because he's allergic to Pal, not because Arthur is terrible at learning how to be a clown. Muffy strongly takes in this advice, and Francine mentions that she heard of a kid that had no sense of humor, and he became Mr. Ratburn. They all imagine him as the future Mr. Ratburn, or maybe just the girls. The girls laugh at him and run away screaming of fake terror.
Girls are scientifically inexplicable.
You said it! That means weird, right?
Yeah.
You said it!
I agree. The next day, I suppose, and before Muffy could make another Ratburn joke, Arthur interrupts her and admits to his unfunniness and that he doesn't have to be a clown. Muffy's happiness makes Francine mad, and Arthur begins his speech.
Not everybody has to be funny. If everyone was as funny as the people on TV, there'd be no reason to watch TV. And if nobody watched TV, all the people who make the shows would have no jobs, and all the companies that advertise would go out of business. So by not being funny, I'm saving the jobs of thousands and thousands of people and their families.
They were humming Battle Hymn of the Republic, just in case you didn't know that.
Wow. I hope someday I can be as important as Arthur.
Don't we all, Fern? Don't we all? Narrating from the letter, Arthur tells Buster that on the day of the carnival, he was the piano player. For some reason, Sue Ellen wasn't there. I guess she has other things to do. Francine feels bad for Arthur, and Francine sarcastically says that she hopes Muffy is happy.
You know, Francine, when I really think about it, I am.
Muffy, you're no help. I hope you know that. As the curtain opens, Arthur is at the piano, and Kate is happy to see him. Oh, she's so cute! So adorable! The main show of the Crosswire Clowns begins. DW points out that Arthur looks so funny since he's wearing his suit. It looks fine to me. Arthur looks over at Kate, who laughs at him, and he decides to make her laugh some more, making several mistakes. At Crosswire and Mr. Haney are confused as everyone knows. The Crosswire Clowns think that they are the ones being funny, but they realize where the true source of their laughter lies with Arthur.
The Unfunny.
Muffy wants him to quit it. Arthur apologizes, saying that he was only playing with Kate. Then he realized that the audience was laughing at him. Francine encourages him to keep going, and Arthur sees his family a part of the laughing matter. He continues, as the Crosswire Clowns continue as well, even though no one's paying attention to them. Later, as Kate is all laughed out, in proud disbelief, Arthur can't believe that everyone liked what he did. Same with DW, but she's used to it, and isn't that amazed from it, even though she laughed. Pickles comes by to congratulate him in a clownish way, and says,
What works for me didn't work for you, so you found your own individual way to do it.
Arthur doesn't understand how he did that, and Pickle tells him even though there's one way to do it doesn't mean it's the only way, and tells him not to be afraid to find his. How is that clown nose sticking on Arthur's nose? And his? And what about breathing? How does that work? Arthur tells him that he will remember that. Camera flash explodes, leading to the present day. Wait, I mean the future present day in Italy, as Buster reads Arthur's letter at the outdoor table as his dad reads a foreign newspaper in another language that is conveniently covering his face, even though we know what he looks like. 3 of them.
So Francine was wrong. I was funny.
And everyone else was wrong as well.
He's not funny.
I'm not funny.
Arthur had found his style for funniness, and wished he had a style to get him an A in math, and says to him to write back soon, your friend, Arthur. And as Arthur's narration continues in the background of what Buster just read, Buster takes something else out of the envelope, a photograph. That explains the camera flash. And why are Buster's hands tan? And where is his long sleeve shirt? After Arthur's narration ends, Buster laughs at how goofy Arthur looks in the photo, and then smiles at it blissfully. Arthur is able to make Buster laugh around 4,000 miles away. This is an awesome episode with a good structure of story, but it can easily make you forget that the carnival and the clown thing is to raise money for the Elwood City Library. There are a few flaws that can be easily missable. I will give this episode an A. Stay tuned for the next episode review. If there's any kind of episode you want me to review, please comment them down below. See ya!